Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today we're zooming in on a headline. It's really short, very direct. But sometimes those really concentrated bits of information, they often have the most layers for us to, well, untack. And our mission here, as always, is to give you that shortcut, to get you truly well informed, even from just a few words. The core piece of info we're exploring today is this. Israel strikes Syrian military headquarters, IDF says. Super concise, right? But that last bit, IDF says, well, that's doing a lot of heavy lifting here, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Yeah, you've nailed the key part right there. We often just skim these headlines, don't we? But when a statement comes directly from, well, from an involved military, it just carries a very different kind of weight.
A different weight, how so?
Well, it shifts, It shifts from being just another report to being an official confirmation. And that's really where the deep dive begins.
Okay, let's get into that.
So let's start with just the immediate facts. What does the statement itself say? Israel strikes Syrian military headquarters.
It's pretty straightforward reporting, right? You've got an actor, Israel,
Right.
an action, strikes, and a very specific target, Syrian military headquarters. So it outlines the core event.
Clear enough. Who, what, where.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the real informational nugget, the thing that makes it interesting for this discussion, is that attribution.
Right. The IDF says part, and this is where it gets really interesting. We all understand, I think, why sources matter in news generally. But when the attribution is specifically, IDF says, for something like this, a military strike, it's not just about, like, checking facts, is it? This isn't some third-party journalist speculating
Well, exactly.
or a report based on, anonymous sources whispering something.
Precisely. It's a direct official statement. It comes straight from the Israel Defense Forces.
So how does that stamp, that direct official confirmation, change how we, as informed listeners, should maybe interpret this news? Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is how an official confirmation from a primary actor, like the IDF in this case, how it transforms a reported incident into, well, a deliberate strategic communication.
Strategic communication. Okay.
Yeah. When a military body officially confirms a strike, it's rarely just about relaying information. It's often signaling something specific, intent.
Okay.
Think of it like a public declaration. Maybe it's about deterrence, maybe asserting responsibility.
Or sending a message.
For sending a very clear message to other players in the region about capabilities maybe or boundaries,
Wow.
It moves the whole thing out of the realm of speculation and into a confirmed event, an event that other nations now, well, they have to acknowledge it.
They can't ignore it.
They can't ignore it, and they might have to respond publicly, take a stance. It forces the issue rather than allowing for ambiguity. That's really the technical side of international relations you see playing out with these kinds of official military statements.
Okay, that distinction is really key then. It's almost like moving a piece on a chessboard publicly.
That's a good analogy.
When the IDF officially confirms a strike like this, it's not just the physical act itself, it's the communication of it, the intention behind saying, we did this.
Exactly.
And you contrasted that with, say, an unconfirmed report that's more like a rumor floating around the war room, maybe.
Yes, precisely. It lacks that official weight, that forcing function.
The official claim just cuts through all that noise, demands attention, maybe even a direct response from other players.
It does.
So for you, the listener, hearing this, what does this prompt us to think about when we see news this direct, this officially attributed? What are the layers we should be looking for beneath this seemingly simple statement?
Well, beyond the immediate facts, the who, what, where we talked about,
Right.
what makes an official direct statement like this so potent is its immediate impact.
Yeah.
Its impact on the diplomatic landscape, the strategic one. It means the entity responsible, the IDF here, is taking public ownership, owning the action.
Right. No hiding it.
No hiding it. And that itself can be a calculated move, maybe to shape the narrative, influence what happens next.
Set a precedent,
Or
perhaps.
set a precedent, exactly. So it prompts us, or it should prompt us, to think not just about what happened, but why is this information being delivered this way? Directly from the source. Right now.
The timing and the method.
Yes. What might be the intended message beyond just the raw facts of the strike itself? That's the deeper question.
Okay, so wrapping this up then.
Yeah.
The core takeaway from this deep dive isn't just the basic idea that sources are important. We generally know that.
Right.
It's about understanding how a direct official attribution, especially from a military like the IDF, confirming an action like this strike, how that fundamentally transforms the news itself. It turns it into potentially a strategic message.
That's it.
It really underlines the value, I think, of looking closely even at the shortest news items, really scrutinizing them, looking beyond just the surface.
And maybe, just as a final thought to leave with you, this raises a really important question, doesn't it? How do official statements like this one actually shape our first understanding of events?
Hmm, good question.
And following on from that, what other questions might they prompt you to ask about the nature of information itself? Specifically, maybe what official sources choose to tell us.
And what they don't.
And yes, what they might be intentionally not disclosing.
Food for thought, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it encourages you, our listeners, to keep exploring those fascinating layers that lie beneath every piece of information you come across.